Dr. D'Alessandro was with them before that, so I don't know how long the relationship goes, but it's a long time. And so we're fortunate enough to help keep the athletes healthy and try to keep them on the court and on the field and take care of any orthopedic complaints they have.
How did you find your way into the world of orthopediatrics? That's not the word for it, but how'd you find your way into that world?
So I started out as an athletic trainer. So I got injured in college and spent some time with the athletic trainers, and I was like, this is awesome, I want to do this. And I served as an athletic trainer for 12 years, and then one of the, Dr. D'Alessandro, team physician for Queens, told me to go back to PA school. And so I listened, and he made sure I had a job afterwards.
And this might be kind of a dumb question, but PA,
Yes.
What is the role of a PA?
So physician assistants, I am essentially the Robin to Dr. Piasecki's Batman. So I'm an extension of him. So patients often ask me what he thinks, and I've worked with him for 11 years, and so I can spout out what he thinks without asking. But I assist him, I see patients, I assist in the OR. Fortunately, this got me out of the OR tonight, so I'm thankful. And I get to go to the training room every week and see the athletes and tee them up. So if there's something that I can direct the athletic trainers, I help guide them, and then if not, then I get Dr. Piasecki on board, and he kind of takes them to the finish line.
That's awesome. And your career, you mentioned some athletic trainer in there, App State, you were with at Davidson, and then some local schools, Ardrey-Kell, Providence.
Correct.
What was that experience like working with specifically the local high schools? Because it's always so interesting to me, kind of, you see it with these big schools, with Queens, with these colleges around the country, but at the high school level, how does that change, if at all, and what is that day-to-day life like with the high schools?
Well, so it's been a while, but back then, so I started out at Davidson, and then I moved to App State. And then sadly, I thought I would drop back to the high school level for a little bit to make money. And so back then, CMS, I taught sports medicine. Teach might have been a strong word for what I did, but I did that, and then I would take care of the athletes in the afternoon. So at Davidson and App, I had, track, which was like 100 athletes. I had teams, and so at most in a year, I would service probably about 120 athletes at the most. When I went to Providence and Ardrey-Kell, I had 500 plus athletes that I was responsible for. And so it was fun. The part I took pride in was that I was like, I am not going to send one of my kids off to college hurt. And because I don't want a collegiate athletic trainer being like, oh, that lazy high school. What'd they do? And so sadly, I burnt myself out a little bit because I ran it like a college. So those kids didn't make their own doctor's appointments. I did all their rehab. And so it was great. I loved it. A lot of those kids, one of them texted me today and was like, Miss Lynch, I hurt my knee. What do I do? It's been also cool to see some of the younger siblings of the kids I taught come through the Queens. So Tate Small was a basketball player, and I taught his older brother, and he was like just a little guy running around, and he grew into a monster. But it was a great career, but I just wanted to do more and have a little better balanced life. I'm not sure I traded that correctly, but it's worked out so far.
That's really interesting. And you mentioned you ran high school kind of like a college where you made their appointments and everything. Can you kind of dive into it more, what your role is now with the Royals, with making all of the, whether it's appointments or like...
So I come out, the kids I think hate me sometimes because I usually come out at 5:45 or 6 in the morning to the training room, and then they have to be out of bed, but they can roll back in bed after. But I'll evaluate whatever the athletic trainers have deemed needs a little bit kind of higher level than what they want to make sure they're on the right page, or they're like, hey, I think this one needs an MRI. And so I'll evaluate. Sometimes it's just patting them on the back and saying everything's okay, get back out there. But then also I'm on call. So if the athletic trainers text me, and it's gotten to be a lot more because the athletic training staff like quadrupled in the past year. Yeah. But they'll text me and say, hey, can we get this kid in? And so we just say, yep, send them over now. We'll work them in. And then so do that. Take care of them, talk kids off the ledge after surgery, and like, it's going to get better. There's a finish line.
It won't hurt forever.
Correct. So this is a little window. So I'm a cheerleader, a counselor, orthopedic PA. So I do all the things.
That's awesome. And that transition from Division II to Division I, for you guys on your side of it, how has it changed things, if at all?
So fortunately for us, not much. So Queens, I think the biggest thing has been the influx of athletic training staff, but you guys have always had a awesome staff. The athletic trainers are phenomenal. They manage their athletes well. And so we just are here to supplement and assist them in making sure the kids are healthy and producing at the highest level that they can.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. We're happy that we could get you out of the OR a little bit there.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And really, really interesting stuff and appreciate it.
Well, great. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
We'll be back with more Queens Coaches Show presented by OrthoCarolina, live from JJ's Red Hots right around the corner.
Perfect.
Trail, mixed. But a mountain bike trail, not so much. Oh, hey, my pedal. Wonder where the other one is.
From urgent care to your full recovery, OrthoCarolina is there every step of the way.
Good day, though. Good day.
The Eats on East project showcases the Royals pride that spreads through East Boulevard, walking distance from Queens University campus. Royals fans and visitors are encouraged to take a walk to the legendary East Boulevard to culminate the true Queens experience at a variety of restaurants. Home of the Coaches Show, JJ's Red Hots was the first East on East partner. The quickly grew as other partners joined, including Lebowski's, Shomars, Jersey Mike's, Rick's Pizza, Kid Cashew, and Penguins Drive-In. The Eats on East partners proudly support Queens and its mission to create and connect fans and families.
From the bluegrass of Kentucky, the Arkansas River, to the beautiful beaches of Florida. From the bustling streets of Nashville to the soulful sounds of Muscle Shoals and its vibrant cities. Fueled by growth, the Atlantic Sun operates in the fastest growing region in America and broadcasts in over 16 million homes. We're everywhere you want to be, with access to 9 of the nation's top 80 media markets, including an impressive 6 in the top 50. Our 12-member institutions provide every collegiate experience from public to private to faith-based. All of our member institutions are located in the top 30 states with the most rapid growth. So join us, because we're not just a stop along the journey. The Atlantic Sun is the destination.
Royals Nation, the last 2 years have been nothing short of exhilarating as we have witnessed our Royals rise to new heights at the Division I level, representing Queens University on a larger national stage. As we approach the end of year 2, every second and every dollar counts, propelling us to push further to expand our championship culture. On Friday, May 10th, you can make a tangible impact during the first ever One Day, One Roar Day of Giving.
We've set ambitious goals for this momentous day. $10,000 for each program, matching the ambitious goals set at the beginning of our Queens Division I journey. Your investment enhances our student-athlete experience, providing resources for games, practices, training, and championships. Your generosity helps level up our game in competition and in the classroom. Join us Friday, May 10th as Royals rise together for One Day, One Roar.
Welcome back into the Queens Coaches Show presented by OrthoCarolina. We're here at JJ's Red Hots, and we are joined now by Grant Leonard, the head coach of the men's basketball team. Grant, how's your Wednesday? More specifically, how's the off-season going for you, if it even is an off-season?
Well, the way the calendar works right now, we don't get an off-season until May, and really about mid-May. So we've been going pretty hard. The portal starts turning as soon as the season's over, and so you kind of have visits on visits on visits.
Yeah.
But bringing in new Royals.
That's awesome, and we'll touch a little bit on transfer portal throughout. We'll talk a little bit about this last season that you guys had, kind of covering a
Maine. They love Curry Arena, the Levine Center. They love Charlotte, and I think that the support we get is phenomenal. And so I have full expectations that we're going to have a strong home court advantage here for years to come.
That's awesome. And this season finished, you guys made it to the ASUN quarterfinals, back-to-back years making it to the quarterfinals. What does it say about your team that first 2 years in this new league, you've been able to get to that stage in the conference tournament?
Yeah, making progress. I think the biggest thing is with our core guys returning, Chris Ashby, Caleb Matthews, Bryce Cash, Jackson Pollard, Malcolm Wilson, like they're understanding, they tasted postseason, they tasted the intensity of the conference tournament, they got to win a game and feel some success, but they also got to feel a little defeat, which hopefully motivates them in the future because the margins are so small, like how close they are and where they need to get to for the next year.
And you mentioned that first win against Florida Gulf Coast. Chris Ashby went off. I think it was 5 3-pointers in that game. You have him coming back for next year. What does his 3-point ability bring to this team? And really, what type of pressure does that put on a defense?
A lot. I mean, a lot of teams, they have to face guard him, not help. They have to guard screens a certain way. And if hold on, we're going to wait for the sirens to go by.
You're a seasoned professional.
But I think, honestly, if Chris does the work that he's putting in now, and he is our hardest worker, he is unbelievably focused. If he does that, I think he can lead the country in 3-point field goals made. And this year he made almost 3 a game. He's right at 3 a game. I think he can get to 4 to 4.5 a game, which would mean he's going to hit 120 plus threes on the year.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and Chris is laser focused on doing it. Extending his range, being able to shoot it from further away, faster release, getting it off on more actions. I really am excited about what Chris is going to do next year.
We're going to see a little Caitlin Clark logo 3 action from him next season?
He has the ultimate green light. I actually told him from the end of the season till the beginning of the season, there is no bad shot. I want him to shoot every shot he can. And I've never told a player that. I'm excited to see what he does with it.
It's not often you hear a coach admit that they even gave a player that type of green light. That is the ultimate green light.
Yes, and our players, the practice stopped, they're all like, what did he say? I said, Chris can't shoot a bad shot for 7 months. Shoot every shot you can, because I'm trying to get him to be more aggressive and to shoot more.
That's awesome. And going to the transfer portal, what are some guys we can talk about? We were talking a little bit of off air, but who have you brought in and who can we talk about? Yeah, so once they sign a grant and aid or a letter of intent and it's in, we can talk about them. So we got four guys in. Yeah. A few more to come. First of all, Big Leo from Fresno State. Really excited about him. Started 68 games in the Mountain West. Had 31 points against UNLV this year. Really excited about what he can bring, the length, the versatility, defensive ability, but also ability to score really efficiently. Anytime you can get a Mountain West starter in the ASUN, it's a good deal for us. And then we have Caleb Parr coming in from Northeast Mississippi. Phenomenal scorer and shooter. Big, ton of length, ton of athleticism. Really can shoot the ball. Yoav Berman, who's going to be a freshman, he's going to be a 21-year-old freshman from Israel. Sounds nice. Has actually scored 6 points in an NBA game. How about that? His pro team, which he plays for, played an exhibition game in Israel against the Brooklyn Nets. He scored 6 points. So not too many guys you can say have already played an NBA game and scored. So I'm excited about him. And then Sawyer Mayhew from UMass. Honestly, in my 20 years of coaching college basketball, I've only had about 3 or 4 players come in for a workout on their visit and the gym stopped. Everyone's like, whoa, who's that kid? We want him. And for Sawyer, he's 6'10", 240, really athletic and can really shoot it. And the gym stopped. And so I'm excited. He's young, but I'm excited to see what he does. You kind of answered the question with the guys that you've brought in already, but in the transfer portal, what are you looking at to bring in? I guess this is a two-pronged question. From a on-the-court perspective, sounds like it's some height, it's some bigness, it's all of that stuff. But also from a locker room perspective, how do you go about looking for new guys to bring in during this transfer portal era? Like skills-wise, we want length, athleticism, guys that can shoot the ball, dribble, pass, and shoot, but they have to be able to stretch the floor. But then the other things we look for, intangibles, have they been on part of winning teams? So that they understand what it's like to be in a winning locker room and sacrifice for each other, and then character. Just are they good dudes? And right now, we have a ton of interest, and honestly, it's actually harder to figure out which ones we're going to say yes to. Yeah. But we feel really good about where our talent's going.
and what our roster is going to look like next year.
That's awesome. And to kind of shift gears back to the roster that you had last year, Bryce Cash, freshman.
Yeah.
He was stellar, local kid. I mean, what did he do so well? What was the key to his success as a true freshman in the ASUN, and what do you expect out of him going into a sophomore campaign?
So the hardest thing for freshmen to do is to adjust to the defensive, all of the adjustments.
Yeah.
Like the conversations, the coverages, everything. It's very complicated. It's way different than high school. And he was seamless. The best freshman we've ever had for that. He started at the 4. The start of the season, we progressed him to the 3 as he got more comfortable on the perimeter, and he was able to handle playing multiple positions because he's exceptionally intelligent.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is going forward, we're actually going to let him bring the ball down the floor and play some point guard. He's going to have the ball in his hands to make decisions with the ball. His assist to turnover ratio is phenomenal for a freshman. So I think you're going to see Bryce Cash the playmaker on offense, but then Bryce Cash maybe the best defensive player in the league on the other end of the floor, and that's what I'm really excited about. He's going to have a monster sophomore year.
I'm pumped. I'm ready for, what is it, November when the next season starts. I know you may want a little bit more time off between then, but we mentioned it, back-to-back appearances in the ASUN quarterfinals. What's it going to take to break through this next year and get to the semis, get to the finals, and put some stuff together?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to make some improvements defensively. Offensively, we've been phenomenal, but the biggest thing, and honestly, the biggest jump I've seen all offseason is from Malcolm Wilson. So Big Malcolm has been way more engaged, understanding what his job is, and he's taken off. And he can anchor our defense. His length and ability to block shots, protect the rim is phenomenal. But a lot of his playing time is how functional he'll be offensively. And he's done an unbelievable job building his skill level, getting confidence, adding strength. And so Malcolm, I think, is going to be the biggest deal for us. We have to get better defensively, and Malcolm's will be a big part of that.
He's 7'1"?
7 foot.
Sorry, I don't want to. I won't give him too much there, but you don't see a lot of 7-footers in the ASUN.
No.
What type of? I mean, what does that add to your defense, and how can ASUN? I guess you don't want to give away the secrets of how can an ASUN offense attack a 7-footer, but like, what does that? That's just such a different look than what ASUN teams are seeing.
It's not even that he's just 7 foot, it's how mobile and fast he is and how quick off the floor he gets. I actually saw him this year block a shot with his right hand and then a half second later block a different player's shot with his left hand. Just the skill to do that is it's really unheard of in our league. What it's going to allow is our guards and our other players to feel comfortable pressuring the ball, knowing if they get beat, Malcolm should be there.
Cleaner upper.
Someone to protect the rim and take care of a mistake, but they can be more aggressive on the ball and disrupt the offense more. And so as a whole, it should be a lot better for us.
And final question, I know we can't talk about anyone that hasn't signed yet, but what are you looking for to fill these final holes in? What type of player are you looking for?
Yeah, I think we'll probably have a scoring point guard or two coming up our sleeve, and then maybe another shooter or big man. And you just never know what these next weeks will bring.
That's awesome. Appreciate it. Have fun these final next couple of weeks, and hopefully enjoy your mid-May off season once it comes.
Well, thank you for having me on the show. It's been a great season on it. Thank you to JJ's Red Hots. Phenomenal place. My dad's favorite place when he lived here. So if you guys want a great glizzy and a great meal, come on in to JJ's.
Appreciate it, Coach. We'll be right back with more Queens Coaches Show presented by OrthoCarolina.
Max has been practicing to be a professional soccer player his whole life.
I think I broke my knee! I think I broke my collarbone! I can do better. Let me take that from the top.
From your first real urgent care visit to full recovery, OrthoCarolina is there every step of the way.
I think I broke my ALC!
It's ACL. He's getting really good.
Every journey has a starting point. Each student has a moment when talent and passion meet opportunity. At the intersection of challenge and support, self-discovery fuels breakthroughs, and leaders emerge prepared for what's next. I grew up loving music. It possesses this very real, very unique power for connection and healing, and my journey as a music therapist took shape here.
I discovered the pool offered a more level playing field. and the chance to push my limits. At Queens, there's so much opportunity, and our potential for greatness accelerates with every step of our collective journey.
I've always had a knack for chemistry, and that talent has magnified since I got here, rippling out in new directions. I'm not afraid to take risks. I believe challenges make us stronger, and innovation only comes when we're willing to lean into the unknown.
I'm still not sure what the future holds, but whatever it is, Queens has prepared me for it.
My professors push me in the classroom and believe in my abilities.
My coaches, professors, all of us, we're one team, one family.
Here, my voice is heard. I'm given the freedom to be myself and charter new opportunities for change.
Here, strength comes from within.
Practice makes perfect.
And curiosity knows no bounds.
I believe Queens graduates will create a better tomorrow. Where we go next? That's up to us.
Talk about whatever we want to.
Welcome back in to the Queens Coaches Show presented by OrthoCarolina. We're on the rooftop of JJ's Red Hots. We're joined now by the women's soccer head coach, Shannon Neely-Knoll. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah, you all right with the sun?
It's just a little bit of a sunburn. With the last name like Fitzpatrick, sometimes the sun can attack a little more difficult.
The Neely heritage, we go red and then we go pale quickly again.
I didn't used to burn, but that's besides the point. So since last time you came on, we have a couple things to cover. Some new signees. We're gonna play a little bit of a game, and then we can really take it wherever we want, binge watching, whatever it may be. Kicking it with Coach.
Sounds great.
But starting things off, since last time you came on, 4 new signees for your women's soccer squad. Can you kind of talk about each one of them? Because it's 4 new freshmen: Ashley Prell, Mika Katz, Mason Riley, and Avery Miller. I wrote those down. I was prepared for that.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's our freshman group. It's always really exciting bringing in a bigger group. They're joining 4 others that we announced in the fall. And they're a really well-rounded group. Our roster's in a great place. There's a lot of balance amongst the ages and amongst positional needs now. So adding in these young women is really incredible. I think there's a good diversity in personality, and I think all of them are going to come in and be competitive right away. So we're just really excited to get them here, honestly.
That's awesome.
The fall is just 3 short months away.
I was going to say, that was my next question. It's actually 100 days to be exact until
that's a
you're
good fun
at
fact.
Wofford.
Oh, fun. First exhibition, yeah.
First exhibition.
That's awesome.
What do you, these next 100 days before that exhibition, what does that look like in those 3 short months?
A lot of hoping, right? Fall sports, it can be really challenging because this is the time that they go away.
Yeah.
They're responsible to prepare on their own. We give them every resource possible. Some of them stick around and work with our strength staff and our athletic trainers, but we as coaches don't have the opportunity to work with them leading into that fall season. So we say it's the most important part of their year, but we actually don't get to work directly with them, which is quite frankly okay, because the reality is great teams that win championships are intrinsically motivated and self-propelled. So they have to learn how to do it, and summer's a great opportunity for them to really lean into their own self-preparation. And if they do it, it's going to serve them into the fall. So we'll see when they get back.
I love it. That's a great answer. And kind of looking at your team as a whole, I mean, there's still some question marks in terms of how things are going to develop, what relationships happen, how the connections all come together. But at this point, 100 days out, how's each level of the field looking? Who are you most excited to see? Is it the back line? Is it your attack? Is it your keepers? What are you most excited for?
Yeah, it's always different from one year to the next. I think every year, even if you have a lot of returners, you just never really know how it's going to present, how people are going to develop. And like you said, the relationships on the field can kind of push you one direction or not. This spring was really fantastic. We had some people get a lot of playing opportunity that because of injury or other reason didn't get to in the fall this year. So getting a feel for them, trying people out in different positions. I'm a coach that'll kind of put you a little bit of anywhere. Some people love that, and other players they bear with me. But it's a really good opportunity, and it's a lot of problem solving, a lot of individual development. I think a lot of people are still talking about who's going to kind of hold down the net for us, because Erica was such a looming figure for our program, and Kelsey Dunn is one of our returners, and she had a fantastic spring. So we're really excited about where she is and what she could potentially do for us in the fall. We have a couple new goalkeepers coming through. We never know what that's going to be like. But then you have a few other returners like Connie Dutton in the front line, Sophia Mutertes in the midfield, Chelsea DiVittori, who's coming back from an injury, but she'll be back for the fall. And I think I'd be remiss to not mention our two mid-year transfers, Shayla Podzic, who plays up on the front line, and Ella Glover, who both had really good first semesters with us as well. So just a lot of great momentum coming off of the spring, and excited to see what they do with this summer before we get rolling again. In 100 days.
100 days. I was going to say, start the countdown now.
Yep.
That is when it becomes more and more real.
Yes.
But all that talk about the season that's still 100 days away, we're going to turn our attention to a little bit of a game. I don't know if you've seen it on social media, blind ranking.
Nope,
so
I'm here for it. Let's go.
I'm going to give 5 all-time great women's soccer players for our national team.
Okay.
And then you're going to have to rank them without knowing who's coming next.
Oh, God. Okay, so 1 through 5.
1 through 5.
But I gotta.
But you have no idea who's next.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so starting things off, Julie Foudy.
Oh.
I threw a tough one right on the jump.
It is, because she is like, I mean, she on field is one thing, but she was a pretty prolific leader for them. So I'm going to go 3.
Okay. Alex Morgan.
4.
Okay. Let's go Abby Wambach.
I don't know what the other 2 are. 2. We're going 2. I'm saving my. Yeah.
Abby Wambach 2, Julie Foudy 3.
Yep.
Alex Morgan 4.
4. Yep.
Mia Hamm.
We'll go 1, because there's something. She was one of the first poster children. You know, she was a part of those first World Cups, and then of course the 99ers. She was a part of that group, but she was the baby of that first original class, and she was kind of one of the first epic sports women in terms of her profile. You know, I grew up watching her and Michael Jordan doing the commercials and all that. Like, I mean, is she just, easy 1.
Okay, and last one is Megan Rapinoe.
Oh, that's good. There's something, I feel comfortable with Mia at 1 for the reasons I said.
That's a good one.
I think Morgan at the 4-5 range could be good. I think Pino is an interesting one, because she has done so much. She's accomplished so much on the field, but she's been such a prominent figure off field with women's sports. Her willingness to put herself out there, whether you agree with her or not, she really has put her neck out on the line and spoken in a public way that I think is admirable. Whether, again, no matter the topic that you agree on or not, that risk factor of being a public figure and willing to speak to try to push any kind of agenda is a scary thing, and she's done it pretty fearlessly to the benefit of a lot of women in the sporting world. So there's maybe some argument there, but even on field, I feel like Foudy at 3, Wambach at, I'm pretty happy with that.
Okay,
like, that's
so
pretty good.
Rapinoe's at 5.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
The way you talked through that, I thought you were going to give me the coach answer.
I know.
Putting her like
my brain,
at 3.2.
I scatter a lot, but honestly, it's like, you know, you do the 1 through 5s, but it's like 1 through 5.
Yeah, it is.
Right? It's like, splitting hairs.
Yeah, I also tried to throw in some
difference, right? I mean, I'm a little disappointed you didn't throw a goalkeeper in there, because that would be like the real debate. Like,
I could have.
Is a Brianna Scurry in that mix? Like, are you going with it? 1 for the deep cuts and Amy Griffin, like.
Brandy there's
Chastain.
a lot. Looking when I was prepping
Joy
for
Fawcett,
this, you just didn't.
Michelle Akers. Oh man, like we're just let's just keep going.
We can keep going.
April Heinrich. Like let's get really old with it. The 91. They didn't even call it the World Cup in 91. It was the M&M Women's Soccer Championship, because FIFA wouldn't let them call it a World Cup at that point. Fun fact. So if that ever comes up in Trivial Pursuit, now you know. M&M sponsored the first Women's World Cup.
And I think what this exercise also showed, one, that is a fantastic deep cut and a great fun fact, but also that there's just so many different people from so many different eras of greatness with it. With the
well, and that's the thing. Alex Morgan is still in rosters a little bit, but there's so many young players that are trying to push into that top 5 list, right? Like You talk to my husband, Julie Ertz is on the list. A lot of people like Rose Lavelle is like the
She's
goat
a
right
cult
now.
hero.
Oh my God, fantastic,
She's
right?
loved, yeah.
She, so I got the great benefit of having coached against her because she played at Wisconsin while I was coaching at Northwestern, and I kid you not, it was a pretty even game. And then at one point, she just picked up the ball at midfield and was like, "I'm going to score right now," and she did it. And there was nothing we could have done about it.
Yeah, when she was with the Spirit, I believe it was, in the NWSL, there was a point when there'd be games, same thing, where she just decided, I'm going to just...
Special talent.
I'm going to
yeah,
take
it's
this
just every
over
now and then. She's
you're
just
like-
going to be like, nope, this is what I'm going to do.
I get why you're on the national
there's
team.
a young crowd, you know, Trinity Rodman, Katrina Macario, like the kind of new class. Who's the center back that I absolutely adore right now? Her name will come to me as soon as we're off. But yeah, it's really fun. I mean, soccer it's broader, more competitive than ever, but those kind of original trailblazers that did it when it was called the M&M World Cup. Not even. Like those are really special women. And I've been, you know, really fortunate that I've gotten to meet a few of them over the course of my years as I've gotten older, and they're just fantastic.
I was originally going to do this prompt with former players of yours.
Oh, that's
but
mean.
I didn't want to.
That's worse.
That would have.
That's
that would have
worse.
ruffled some. But I was like, I'll go women's national team to.
That's a good one.
To make
this
to make it a little nicer.
It is. It's a fun game.
Overall, 100 days until the season. I'll keep bringing that up because that's just a funny number that the Last Coaches show falls on that. But preparing for that. In your off time, what are you doing to kind of mentally reset so you're not in coach mode for 100 days straight?
Well, that's the funny thing. I always say there's two different timelines, especially for fall sports. You work on a cycle of the school year, right? You get started in the fall. You have your fall semester, you have your spring semester. So we're wrapping up. I'm anxiously awaiting our grades because I think we're going to have the highest GPA since we've been in D1, which is, you know, great. Getting degrees is great, but I'm also competitive, so I like that number attached to it. And we're cycling off. We just had our senior parade where we got to celebrate our student athletes who are also graduating and send them off with a little pomp and circumstance. Like, that was wonderful. But then there's a whole different cycle where it's the calendar year, where it's like you start in January and you're building all the way into the fall. So it is great, and we do try to find some windows in summer where we can take a step away and recharge and really kind of reset. But for us, we're getting started. Like, the staff is having conversations about, you know, setting up our compliance meetings, getting athletic trainers and doctors scheduled and things like that, because everybody else needs to take a break as well. We go through natural ebbs and flows as coaches, high periods, low periods. Our admin and the rest of our staff really doesn't. They go from fall sports to overlapping to winter sports to overlapping to spring sports. So they need those breaks too. So we kind of try to get ahead of some things right now, take a mini break, and then we get rolling again into July, and it comes really fast. So yeah, it's great going into year 3 because we've got some things figured out. I always say it's never no problems. It's never there aren't challenges. It's just new and looking for ways to continue to improve. But yeah, we're already getting started.
That's awesome. And a way that it seems like there's a nice little reset for you guys. It's the Kicking with Coach you guys do
that is fun.
Lacrosse, field hockey. I heard there's some volleyball potentially in the works.
Coming up,
Maybe some tennis. You can find all of those videos as they come out on the Queen Sports Network YouTube channel.
I was going to say, Coach Jeremy led me through some things.
I was going to say, with that next one, Jeremy Price, men's volleyball head coach, coming up right after you, but what did he teach, and what's that series like? Is it teaching you more? Well, of course it's teaching you more about other sports, but I guess the intricacies of these sports?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool because when you get to the college space, the players and the coaches, we lose track. Like, we are experts in what we're doing, but not in what our peers are doing.
Not what the men's
so you can kind of lose track of being in over your head. So it's really fun to kind of expose yourself and take those risks and to work with other coaches. You know, coming off of lacrosse, I kept catching myself going, man, they were so good at teaching this, that. And I was like, well, yeah, you idiot. Like, they're really good at this. So clearly they should be good at teaching you. So that was a blast. Field hockey literally just came out this week. So that was incredible. They geared me up completely. I was in goal, which was so fun. Honestly, I think I got off easy because outside of the heat and the difficulty of moving, you got to use your feet in goal. Where Sage and Anna had to use a stick to try to hit, it was much harder for them. I was just tried to like slug around and keep up with things. But you learn things that you never knew about the sport. What big thing that I thought was funny is you hold your dominant hand on the heel of the stick, where I immediately came up and held it almost like an ice hockey stick. And, I akined it to like, snowboarding, like riding goofy footed or anything. They say that some people do it, but it's not typical. Like something I never knew. Just the different intricacies that you don't know, even if you are a great spectator. And then just to try it, there's that big joke that the Olympics should come packaged with like people who played the sport in high school, like before the track runners get out and do their hurdles, they're going to put like the 40-year-old who did it back in high school out on the track, just so you can really see how far off everybody else is. And I feel the same way. It's like you throw me, I feel like I'm very good at soccer even in my unfit stage now, but you throw me in goal and I'm a fish out of water, and it's getting used to the pads and getting used to, and Garrison, who edits this stuff for us, doesn't put it in there, but at the end we always are really curious and we're like, okay, take a real shot. And it's like literally at one point Coach Brandy from field hockey hit the ball and I went, and literally like shied away from it.
Hard balls.
Yeah, but have you ever seen the padding? Like there was no reason for me to be terrified, but she hit it so hard. And the same thing with volleyball. At the end of it, Coach Hannah and Coach Jeremy were like, okay, like you've been nice, you taught us how to pass, you taught us how to set. That was what Jeremy helped me learn how to set. Taught us how to hit, all the things. Okay, now hit a ball at us and let's see if we can actually do something with it. And I like foul tipped a couple and I was proud. Like it's a whole nother level, and it's really fun to be exposed to that, because you get in your own little corner, you feel proud of what you're doing, which is great. But it's also fun to like spend some time with your peers and get to know their world a little bit.
So you've done 3 so far.
3 so far,
filmed. Which has been the favorite?
Whew. Blind rankings. No.
Volleyball.
No, I don't know. I'm going to take the easy answer and say I'm not sure if I had. Lacrosse was a lot of fun because it was the first one. So we were literally just running out there like idiots, like, hey, let's play the sport. Volleyball or field hockey for me was super fun because I was a goalkeeper in soccer. So to jump in goal for a whole different sport was good. I think volleyball was unique and it's going to be fun to see because they taught us like a sequence to working together, and like they taught us to pass to a set to a hit and kind of built that piece out. So that was the first time we did that, where the other experiences were just like individual skill sets. So that was a different thing. So I'm not going to throw my hat in yet. I think field hockey's been the hardest. I'll say that. Field hockey was the toughest. You also have, what, like 50 pounds of gear on for field hockey? I don't know if it's that heavy, but it felt like a lot because it's cumbersome. Like I tried to run at one point and you really got to like lift your legs up pretty high. You're clomping around out there. So it was great though. It's been fun. My peers are exceptional at what they do and just really inviting to have us out there and to let us kind of be kids. Like literally I do the intro and then I'm just like, great, now I just get to go play. And then much to Garrison's chagrin, I just like run around like an idiot and he tries to capture as much as he can.
That sounds like a blast.
It is, it absolutely is. That's the best way to describe it.
And you can find all of that on the Queen's Sports Network YouTube, and 100 days you can start the countdown.
Yep.
Appreciate the time on this Wednesday you took out to talk with us on the final Queen's Coaches Show.
Yeah, as we wrap up the year, women's soccer is always the first to kick it off. So 24-25, we're coming.
Kick it off, nice pun. 10 out of 10.
Hey, there you go.
We'll be right back with more Queen's Coaches Show presented by OrthoCarolina right around the corner.
Oh man, there's nothing I love more than a good trail mix. But a mountain bike trail, not so much. Oh hey, my pedal. Wonder where the other one is.
From urgent care to your full recovery, OrthoCarolina is there every step of the way.
Good day though. Good day.
Before a city turns to you for answers, before the stories that need telling are told, and our nation's biggest companies look to you to make their next big move. Whenever, however, you're called upon to step up, Queens will prepare you to do just that. Because here, Royals rise.
Welcome to the Atlantic Sun, where heart-pounding moments are born and where champions rise above. Where speed defies limits and precision finds its mark. Where millions of fans nationwide cheer for excellence, determination, and fairness. where public, private, and faith-based schools compete side by side, fostering sportsmanship and unity. Join us, because we're not just a stop along the journey. The Atlantic Sun is the destination.
Royals Nation, the last 2 years have been nothing short of exhilarating as we have witnessed our Royals rise to new heights at the Division I level, representing Queen's University on a larger national stage. As we approach the end of year 2, every second and every dollar counts, propelling us to push further to expand our championship culture. On Friday, May 10th, you can make a tangible impact during the first ever One Day, One Roar Day of Giving.
We've set ambitious goals for this momentous day. $10,000 for each program, matching the ambitious goals set at the beginning of our Queens Division I journey. Your investment enhances our student-athlete experience, providing resources for games, practices, training, and championships. Your generosity helps level up our game in competition and in the classroom. Join us Friday, May 10th as Royals rise together for One Day, One Roar.
Welcome back into the Queen's Coaches Show, presented by OrthoCarolina on the rooftop of JJ's Red Hots. We're joined now by the head coach of men's volleyball, Jeremy Price. Season just wrapped. How's the off-season treating you so far?
It's been good. I mean, we were able to send off our seniors today, I think in a just a really appropriate way that was just celebratory for the work that I know my guys have put in, and really all the athletes here at Queens. And it's just a great day, and it was nice to be just a small part of that. And with graduation on Saturday, kind of finalizing, and just kind of taking care of tying the loose ends on this year, and then getting ready to start next year. May for the most part is pretty quiet for me, and then starting Memorial Day weekend, we jump right into the recruiting calendar. So these next three and a half weeks will be nice.
Sounds awesome. And you guys just wrapped up first year in the MIVA. Kind of looking back at what that first year in this brand new conference is, moving from the IVA to the MIVA, how would you grade year one in the new conference?
The competitor in me would be hesitant to give it any type of good grade, but as a person who was been fortunate enough to be able to start this program and has been able to take a pretty big picture, long view, I think it was an important year for us, and it was certainly a year of transition, and it was a great learning experience, and it's going to be invaluable for us. So I want to give us a grade of incomplete because I want to see how it plays out over the next couple years. But I think the experience that we've gained, both in terms of what we need to do from a physicality standpoint, the mental grind of playing at a high level week in and week out. At one point, 7 of the 9 teams in the MIVA were ranked in the top 20.
That was a fun time.
And, Ohio State they started the year number 1, and they lost last night in the NCAA quarterfinals. They were really decimated by injuries, as a lot of teams were. And they had a chance to be kind of an elite team. They were really good. I don't think by the end of the year we had an elite team in the conference, but we had just very good team after very good team, and where anybody could beat each other on a given night. And so it made for a very rugged conference schedule. And it was a great testing ground and a great proving ground. And, I think the moment we lost to Ball State in the quarterfinals, the attitude was, it'd be nice to get a week off, and then I wish we could go back to practice. I mean, and that was the mindset of the guys. I think they enjoyed the challenge of playing that schedule, night in and night out.
That schedule too took you guys to some fun places in the country. Muncie, Indiana. Next year you'll be going up to Fort Wayne, Indiana. I mean, that schedule with the MIVA is much different than the schedule you were playing in the IVA. What was the learning curve like for the travel aspect of the new conference?
Yeah, I mean, we had been to all those places. We had been to Loyola last year. We had actually played Ball State and Fort Wayne there last year. The difference is when you do it, you know you're getting on a plane or a really long bus ride every other weekend.
Yeah.
Where in previous years, that would be like, that was our big trip for the month. And then the rest of the month were day trips, driving 2 or 3 hours, here and there. But to do that, and again, we played Ohio State, and they were a top 10 team in the country, and we finished that. It was great. It was a wonderful home atmosphere, and we had just great fan support at our MIVA matches. And then the very next weekend, we're going to Muncie to play Ball State.
Yeah.
And then we came back from spring break and had Lewis, Loyola, and Lindenwood back to back to back.
Yep.
And so, that type of travel, but our guys, from the first guy to the last guy came to play at the highest level they could. And so that's why they came to Queens. And we were doing that to, as best we could as an independent. We played a great schedule as an independent. I mean, we had played Hawaii multiple times, and we had gone to Lewis, Loyola, Ball State, George Mason. We had played
the non-conference was
everywhere. And so to be able to do that, that's why the guys came. They want to play at a high level, and that's why they're excited for next year.
One of the guys that came played at a really high level for all of his time in the Royals uniform, and then capped it off with, I think it was 812 assists this last year, Daniel Leitao. I mean, it was a senior class, and you guys just had the senior parade, but it was a senior class that had a big impact across the board. But Daniel, his impact, I think he was a setter one year, he was an outside hitter another. He put on whatever hat you asked of him. What was his impact on the program?
I mean, he was here for 5 years, and and so for him to do what he did, and you're absolutely right, he played 2 matches as an outside hitter in his career. He started something like 30 or 40 matches as a right side. He had another 50 starts or something as a setter. We really did ask him to do a lot, and I always felt that if you gave me 2 weeks, or you gave really him 2 weeks, he could figure out any position, and he would do it at a pretty high level. And one of the things that I hated the most is when we played Ball State in the MIVA quarterfinal. That was his last match of his career. He had a violent stomach flu and bug and couldn't play. And Kate Amarin stepped in and did a fantastic job for us. But you just hate for a fifth-year guy not to be able to answer the bell. But let me tell you, there was no way he was answering that bell for that final match. But yeah, he can look back with pride on his career and the impact he made at multiple different positions. There's not many guys that have a 50 assist match and a 25 kill match, and he's got both of them.
Yeah, his stat sheet is quite wild when you look at it sometimes.
It really is.
I gotta know, we were just talking with head coach Shannon Neely-Knoll about her Kicking It With Coach series. I heard you just helped coach her up a little bit in the volleyball game. I gotta know, it's not like she's sitting right over to our right. How good is she at volleyball?
I was impressed. One of the things that really matters in volleyball is having good feet to get you to where the ball is going, and I think the soccer staff certainly has that. Yeah. And the arm swings were a little rusty. They don't do a whole lot besides throw the ball in occasionally. But they had great feet. They got to the ball, and really a tremendous time. A lot of fun to be a part of that. And would love to do something like that again. And just seeing the cross-sport connections was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing the finished product here in a few weeks.
I love it. And mustard's been kind of our running gag between us just every time you come on the Queen's Coaches Show. We were talking off-air about blind ranking them. I'm going to throw you 3 of them, mainly because I don't think I can pull 5 out on the fly. So blind ranking mustards, we got to go yellow.
4th.
4th out of the 3. I love it.
Yes.
All right. Dijon.
Life's too short to eat plain yellow mustard. It's definitely a maxim of mine.
Okay. Next year when we're calling Queens men's volleyball games, that's when that'll be brought up at some point. But Dijon.
Really strong. I don't know what the other choices are, but I like a good spicy Dijon. The horseradish mustard, huge fan of that. So that would probably be near the top of the list.
Okay, horseradish mustard was my next one. So that's right up there. 1, 2, 3 kind of, or I guess 1, 2.
Stone ground.
Yep, that's a good one. I probably would slot in at 3. But with everything, with our broadcast this last year, we had JP Payne on. We had another former player of yours, Nick, and I'm going to mispronounce his last name. Cavallero. I got to know, from this roster you have, we're not saying JP's going anywhere or anything like that, but from this roster, any of them can be sitting next to me as the color commentator next year?
So I got to go to the senior class then.
You got to go senior class.
Let's see. I think Jack Brinkman would be good. You might have to reel him in. Yeah, you got to rein him in. You saw when he was hurt. That was your third coach on that. He got very involved in the match, but I think he would do a really good job. Sterling Sims would be absolutely hilarious, and I think would do a great job. Ryan Simber, I think would be really good. The guy that I think has the best future as a coach in the sport, if he would choose, would be Ty. So Ty Hurdle would be phenomenal, I think, especially as a color analyst. Yeah. And so I think he would be really good. So I think all four of them could do a really good job. They would definitely bring some their own strengths in all four very different, unique styles.
Yeah, I'm just imagining Brinkman now. Man, that'd be a broadcast. Where there'd be a lot of reining in, I think.
Yes, for sure.
But it'd be very fun. But as the off season's here, you're kind of in this slower period before recruiting and everything happens. Playing some golf, getting your golf game in?
Yes, I need to. I actually played yesterday and I couldn't drive or putt, and that's a problem. So.
Those are, I think, 67% of the game, roughly.
And I don't know. It was every other hole I could hit a good drive, and then couldn't putt very well. And it is what it is. We're still early in the season.
Yeah, you got some time. Yeah.
If I'm still driving like this at the end of the month, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. So it could be my advanced age. I'm 47. I'm not as flexible, not taking it back as far as something. It's very disappointing.
Well, good luck with your golf game, having that work for it, and hopefully at the turn you can get some good hot dogs with some mustard on it. Probably not be as good as JJ's Red Hots.
Probably not.
But appreciate the time, Coach.
Of course, thanks.
We'll be back with more on the Queen's Coaches Show presented by OrthoCarolina.
What's good, Royals Nation? Welcome into 117 Studio B. I'm Kat Biancardi, and this is your Royals Recap, April edition.
We're going to Bama!
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Softball is ASUN Championships bound after winning the series against Stetson. Pitcher Autumn Courtney is making national noise as she finished out April as the D1 leader in strikeouts. On the other diamond, junior Dylan Lewis put on a show all month long, earning the program's first ASUN Player of the Week honor to setting a new single-season Queens record with 17 home runs. Lewis says his success stems from this game day ritual.
I wear socks under my game socks.
So double socks?
Double socks, yes.
Double socks?
Yes.
The men's volleyball team finished their season falling to the #1 team in the MIVA Conference Tournament. As first-year members of the league, Coach Jeremy Price says the future is bright.
And to move into one of the top conferences in the country like the MIVA is an opportunity for us to step up on a big stage week after week.
Outdoor track and field's Lucy Wallaker had a record-breaking performance in the high jump at the Duke Invitational. With a 1.83-meter jump, the Ugborough, England native capped off April sitting #1 in Queen's program history, the ASUN Conference, and set the Duke facility record in the women's high jump. On the men's side, Jacob Netzel broke his own school record in discus throw at the Verklasse meeting and remains the discus leader in the ASUN. It was all about milestones during April for Queens lacrosse. Both senior keepers, Caroline Kramer and Wesley Wheat, finished the season with 250 career saves between the pipes. Offensively on the men's side, Canadian Jack Royer notched 100 career points. The women's side, Kayleen Fabro clinched 100 career goals. She also had a career-high 7 goals versus Stetson. And senior Mara O'Donoghue reached 100 draw controls in her career. On the golf course, the men's squad competed in their second straight ASUN championships, improving from last year. 2 members of the men's tennis team landed ASUN postseason honors. Lorenz Blickweed named a second team, and Ernwi Luetti earned himself a spot on the all-freshman team. For the latest, follow at Queens Athletics. Thanks, y'all.
Welcome back into the Queen's Coaches Show presented by OrthoCarolina on the rooftop of JJ's Red Hots. We're joined now by the women's golf coach, Ashley Fowler. Ashley, how's the off-season treating you?
It's good. It's only been about 2-3 weeks now, but it's good. It's a little unfortunate because the weather now starts to get really nice, but no, it's good to kind of reset and kind of look ahead.
It isn't that's just Charlotte weather. What, 70s these last few days, 80 today, but a few weeks
Blue
ago
skies.
it was not as nice. But looking back at this last season, how would you grade your girls, grade the team as a whole?
Yeah, I think we've made great improvements. I know the results may not show it at the conference championship, but I think compared to last year, we've made great strides. And I'm excited for, new energy coming in to kind of continue to move forward. We're losing a couple of good seniors, but it'll be a new, interesting, fun dynamic.
Yeah, one of the seniors I was going to ask you about, so perfect lead-in right there.
Yeah.
Pack, Amelia Pack.
Yeah.
She was a stud graduate player for you guys for her entire time with the Royals.
Oh, yeah.
What is losing her and kind of this entire senior class? It's kind of been the vibe of the day with the senior parade just happening, but losing the senior class, how do you guys replace them, and who do you expect to step up in their absence?
Yeah, I think, you can never replace somebody like that. I think she's done a tremendous job. Not just, on the golf course. She's a great leader. She does a lot of the off-course stuff that, a lot of the girls respect and follow.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a tough act to follow. On the golf course especially, too. She was always, I think every single one of her scores counted. She was always, great. So I'm hoping we have a couple of upperclassmen there that, they were close with her to be able to kind of take what they've learned and kind of bring it out of them. But no, it'll be fun to see kind of who takes on that role. I'm curious to see who's going to do it. Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see. And I mean, for you guys, it's not a typical season as much as it is in terms of, soccer's got, you go August to, what would it be, October, November, whatever it is. You guys are playing in September all the way up until 2 weeks ago, right? Like it is
it's a long
across
season.
The entire athletic year.
Yeah.
How does that impact your off-season preparation for the next year when you don't really have a true off-season, I guess?
Yeah, it's hard to say when it is. Especially now, the summertime, it's so important to stay playing because of the weather, right? That's when all the tournaments are happening. But then you're like, man, I just played from August until November, like early November, and then we get going February through April. So I would say like the off season is kind of that winter time, just to, I always encourage them, like, put the clubs away, if anything, let's putt around a little bit, make sure we're not losing some of the foundations. But yeah, it's kind of hard to find that.
It's looking at the schedule, it's like, whoa, that is long. There's a lot happening.
Yeah, it is.
So we've been blind ranking some things with other coaches. We did mustard with head coach Jeremy Price, because that's the running bit. With head coach Shannon Neely-Knoll, we did all-time great women's soccer players.
Oh, okay.
For you, we talked grass a lot last time.
We did.
So keeping with the same theme, we're gonna blind rank types of grass to play golf on. I know everyone watching at home can relate wholeheartedly to the types of grass to play golf on. Leading things off, I got 5 of them.
Is one the best?
1 will be the best, 5 will be the worst. Bermuda.
Ooh, we give it a, thinking about the ones that you may have, I'm gonna give it a 3, a solid 3.
Okay, not great to play on, but not terrible.
Yeah, it can be very different, right? Some Bermuda can be too strong, or some can be perfect.
Okay.
So it kind of the way the course maintains it.
Bent grass.
2.
Okay.
On bent. That's where I grew up on. That's what you'll see more up north and a little cooler weathers. Yeah.
Zoysia.
Number 1, Zoysia. Zoysia, number 1.
What makes it number 1? That is a resounding number 1.
Yes. Every time your ball's on the grass, it's teed up. It's somehow, it's really fluffy.
Yeah.
Chipping, you're always gonna have a great lie. It's just, it's kind of spongy in a way, but it doesn't like give in. It's, when you're on it, you'll know. And it's always pure. Best one.
All right, ryegrass. So wait, so we got Zoysia number 1, Bermuda number 3, bent number 2.
Yes.
Rye.
I give it a 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the worst, depending on what your 5th is.
I cannot read my own handwriting, so this might either be Doa Anua or Poa Anua.
I think it's Poa Anua, but I guess I'm gonna have to go 5.
All right, that's very fair.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. For next season, You guys will be playing on different type. I don't know how I'm going to segue this into the next question, but we're playing on a bunch of different grasses next year. What are your expectations for the squad at this point? I know the season ended 2 weeks ago, but never too early to be looking ahead.
Oh, for sure.
What are your expectations for next season?
I think it's just continuing to build off of what we're doing right now. Again, I think we're doing a lot of great things, and I'm just excited for them to for it to come into like fruition. Fruition. Yeah, that's the word. And just for them to be able to kind of see the benefits of it. Again, I think they work so hard, and so it's just exciting to be a part of it, and I can't wait for them to see it. But we got a couple of different tournaments coming up. We got a couple fun traveling destinations, so I hope they're excited. They don't know yet, but I'm excited. So
sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
And before we let you go, there's one final thing we have to do. Final segment on the Queens Coaches Show for the year. We got a putting contest.
All right.
And by putting contest, I mean we're going to use my Facebook Marketplace putter that I got that's probably from 1974.
Perfect.
And see who gets closest to the JJ Red Hot's cup.
Okay, let's do it.
Because we do have a patch of grass. So
yeah,
we will get ready. Watch out for the cord.
Okay.
I got a great top flight #1 ball.
Yeah, #1 ball in the game for sure. You want to go ahead?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, I need to see what I'm working with.
This is what everyone comes to watch the Queens Coaches Show for.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I'm gonna hold this.
This is great television.
You just make it? What? Dang. Okay, that was impressive. That was impressive.
All right, so I made that one.
You did. Thank you. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah.
Right front.
Dang. Okay.
Yikes.
I went for it.
Yikes. We'll pick that
I'll grab that later.
Max has been practicing to be a professional soccer player his whole life.
I think I broke my knee! I think I broke my collarbone! I can do better. Let me take that from the top.
From your first real urgent care visit to full recovery, OrthoCarolina is there every step of the way.
I think I broke my ALC!
It's ACL.
He's getting really good.
From the bluegrass of Kentucky, the Arkansas River, to the beautiful beaches of Florida. From the bustling streets of Nashville to the soulful sounds of Muscle Shoals and its vibrant cities. Fueled by growth, the Atlantic Sun operates in the fastest growing region in America and broadcasts in over 16 million homes. We're everywhere you want to be, with access to 9 of the nation's top 80 media markets, including an impressive 6 in the top 50. Our 12-member institutions provide every collegiate experience from public to private to faith-based. All of our member institutions are located in the top 30 states with the most rapid growth. So join us, because we're not just a stop along the journey. The Atlantic Sun is the destination.
The Eats on East project showcases the Royals pride that spreads through East Boulevard, walking distance from Queens University campus. Royals fans and visitors are encouraged to take a walk to the legendary East Boulevard to culminate the true Queens experience at a variety of restaurants. Home of the Coaches Show, JJ's Red Hots was the first East on East partner. The movement quickly grew as other partners joined, including Lebowski's, Shomars, Jersey Mike's, Brick's Pizza, Kid Cashew, and Penguins Drive-In. The Eats on East partners proudly support Queens and its mission to create and connect fans and families.
Here, strength comes from within.
Practice makes perfect.
And curiosity knows no bounds.
I believe Queens graduates will create a better tomorrow. Where we go next? That's up to us.